Hi guys, so today I'm going to do a book review video, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books to get through. So let's just get right on into it. So this book I got at a flea market. I think it was a flea market or it was a book sale. And it's Agatha Christie, The Moving Finger, and I really didn't like this book. This is what it looks like. I really didn't like that book. I don't know why, I just didn't like it. I thought the whole storyline was boring, and I didn't even finish it because I was so bored with it. And I couldn't even tell you, like, it was about a brother and a sister. They moved to the country because the brother had like a broken leg or something like that, and the doctor said he has to go to the country to relax and stuff like that. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, and then these letters keep popping up by somebody who's writing them, and they're filled with like all these bad things that aren't true, like her brother, the character's sister. They're not really brother or sister. They're like not sisters or anything like that, brother or sister. And then it actually leads 2 or 3 women in the village/countryside to kill themselves over these letters. Something like that. I just really didn't like it. I thought it was really boring. So the next book I have is by Lilian Jackson Braun, or Bran. I don't know how you say her last name. And it's The Cat Who Sniffed Glue. And this is what it looks like. I always say this when I read her books. These books are about, they're about a small town. It's about the small town in like Maine, like close to Canada. And I think it's all fictional anyway. And it's like a whole series. I think there's like 30 some books in the whole series, and you can read them like however way you want. I mean, I just read them whenever I get them. But it's basically about a small town who has mysteries in it, and this one guy, he works for the paper. He helps solve the mysteries. He helps solve the mysteries with his 2 cats. And it might sound corny when you first read it, because you're like, what? Like, these cats are helping him solve mysteries? But they're really cute books. And this one, I don't know how many, it was separated into 2 parts. So it had like 10 chapters each, I think. Or no, one had like 13 chapters in it, and then one had 10 chapters in it. So yeah, but these books are really cute, and they're really, like, I finished that book in a day, so they don't really take up that much time to read. This next one I have is another Agatha Christie book, and I think I got this one at a book sale too. That one I got at a book sale too, the Cat Who book. And this is by Agatha Christie again, and it's called Halloween Party. This is the last book that I just finished. I finished it in a day, and it's about, I don't know how you say it's a Hercule Poirot, I don't even know how you say his last name, murder mystery. I don't even know how you say his last name. Like, I was calling him Hercule Pinpoint in my head. Like, that's what I call him, but it's not Pinpoint. But what this is about a Halloween party, and this detective is trying to figure out who drowned a girl in the bobbing for apples bucket. And it was really shocking who actually did it. Like, it was really shocking. That book only had 27 chapters in it, and they were all like semi-short. There was a couple that were really longer. But other than that, some of them were short, some of them weren't. So this book I got at a book sale. Book sale, I think. And this is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and basically it's just about this guy, Seth Grahame-Smith. He wrote another book, and it was called Sense and Sensibilities and Sea Monsters. And it's basically just about like Pride and Prejudice, but it's like a parody of it, and it has like little illustrations in it. Not like every page is an illustration, but just every once in a while. So it's sort of like a knockoff of Pride and Prejudice. I never read Pride and Prejudice, but even though Pride and Prejudice is like a classic literature book, and adding his little spoof on it really didn't help, because it was still boring and long and dry. And dry to me is just like, it was just completely like nothing interesting happened in it, no matter if it's a parody or not. Or satire, whatever you want to call it. This book had 61 chapters in it, and I didn't finish it because I was just getting so bored reading this book without like an audio version to it. I just didn't like it. That's what it looks like. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I gave up on it like halfway through because I could not like figure out what the storyline was at all, and there was so many characters in it that I couldn't keep, okay, who's with who wasn't with who, stuff like that. It was just boring beyond anything. So, this is a V.C. Andrews book. I only read one V.C. Andrews book for this month, and it's book 2 of the Kindred series, and it's called Daughter of Light. And this one had, I think, like 20-some chapters in it. I got this at a flea market, I think. It was either a flea market or a book sale. And I like this book. The first book in this series, there's only 2 books in this series, and it's called the Kindred series. The first one's called Daughters of Darkness. And they're about this, like, vampire family and stuff. And then this girl named Lorelai, she's really different from all the other vampires in her family. So what happens is she finds out the truth about what's been going on in her family. Not about like her being a vampire, but like all this other stuff that goes on in it. So she leaves. So the second book, the last book in the series, is about her leaving and where she ends up and stuff. And this book has 21 chapters in it, plus an epilogue. And this is what it looks like. This book, I think, was better than the first one, just because the first one was sort of like, it had to set everything up to get to this point. But at the end, it had a happy ending, and I really liked it. The chapters were, like, longer. They were, like, 20 pages each. But they were really good. I really loved reading that book. That one was really interesting. And it's a hardback book, so the chapters are bigger, and at least the words are bigger in the page, too. So this next book I have is about the royal family, and it's called Buckingham, Babylon. I think that's how you say it. The Rise and Fall of the House of Windsor by Peter Fearon, or Fearon, one of them. And this is what it looks like. It had like in between some of the chapters like pictures of all the royal family and stuff. So it starts with the death of Queen Victoria. And it starts out with Edward VII, and then it goes to, of course, Queen Elizabeth II. And this book only goes up to the early 1990s, so I think it left off at like 1994. But I really like this book. Oh, I forgot to show you what it looks like. It's like when I first got this book, I was thinking, oh my god, like it wasn't going to be good, it was going to be dry, and because it was a biography book. But it was really good, and I really, really liked it. It was really fun to read, and it had lots of like, if you read books about the royals, or you're into them, or like you're an historian, or you have like a European history class or something, that book has a lot of interesting stuff in it about all the royals that you might not know anything about. Like you might know stuff about Queen Victoria, but you might not know, like, I don't know, you might not know some of the stuff that's in the book. Like, I read some royal books before, and there was stuff in this book, that I really didn't even know about, and there were, like, some, like, shocking things that happened in that book, too. The last one I got this at a big book sale. That one I got at a bigger book sale, too, instead of, like, a library book sale. This is just Wildflowers, and it doesn't have like an author on it, but it's just called Wildflowers, and I liked it because I picked this up, and I like flowers, and I wanted to know more about flowers. But the thing is in this book, there's a lot of flowers that aren't even in this book that I know. Like, I got a highlighter, and I was like, oh, I'll just highlight all the ones I know, and I think out of all of them, I think I only highlighted like 10 maybe in the whole entire book. But the illustrations in this book are really, like, really good. And you can tell it took whoever wrote this, or, illustrated these a long time to do. I mean, look, like, that's a saffron crocus. So they're really, really spot on. Like, I thought, like, if the person who hand drew these, I thought, oh my god, they're gonna hand draw these and they're gonna look like crap. But they didn't, and they were really good, and it had, I think it only had 198 pages in it, and it was really good. So that was my book review on the 7 books I read for the month of August/September. So comment below and tell me your favorite books that you want me to read, or you recommend for me to read, or whatever. And have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.